Hi, I'm Amir, and in this channel, I share what I've learned about building generative AI products and experiences. This is another video in the series in which I talk about developing GenAI powered products and some unique principles that I share with teams and customers. The principle I'd like to cover today is that of empowering user control. We're still in early days of building users' trust in AI systems and products, and this principle has a key role in establishing that trust. It also has a lot of implications on UI and UX design. Let's see how to do it right. Let me start by clarifying what I mean by empowering user control in the context of generative AI. It's about giving users meaningful ways to influence and customize the system's behavior and outputs. In essence, what we're trying to do is two things. Find the best ways to combine the power of generative AI with the judgment and values that the human has, and at the same time, give users the feeling that they have enough control over the process and the result. The principle of user control is important in software in general, and we build on that principle here too. With generative AI, there is an additional layer to this. If we do this right, we can actually tap into those control mechanisms and interactions and improve our AI system by learning from the user's choices and preferences.
Now, empowering user control in generative AI products raises some questions and challenges. Let's consider why. First, Gen AI systems can be complex. Giving users full control over every aspect could be overwhelming and lead to choice paralysis. This could also manifest in a cluttered user interface, potentially making the product harder to use. Especially in this early stage of AI systems, we should try and keep it as user-friendly as possible. Second, there's a delicate balance between user control and AI autonomy. Too much control might limit the AI's ability to surprise and innovate. And lastly, we face the challenge of designing control mechanisms that not only allow user input, but also effectively feed back into improving the AI system. We need to find ways to learn from user choices and preferences without making the interaction feel like a constant training session. These challenges mean we need to be thoughtful and strategic about how we implement user control in Gen AI products. Given these challenges, how can we effectively empower users in Gen AI systems? Let's explore 5 key strategies. The first strategy is intuitive interface design. Create clear, easy to understand controls for the AI. This might involve visual sliders, simple toggles, or familiar metaphors that users can easily grasp. Next, we have customizable outputs. Give users the ability to fine-tune the AI's results. In a text generator, this could mean adjusting tone or style. For a music AI product, it might involve controlling genre blends or instrumentation. Our third strategy is transparency. Make the AI's process more visible. Explain how user inputs influence outputs. Show confidence levels for AI-generated content, and illustrate how user choices contribute to the system's ongoing learning. Fourth, consider implementing tiered control systems. Start with basic controls for all users, then offer advanced options for those who want deeper customization. This approach caters to both novices and power users without overwhelming anyone. Compare how almost everybody finds it super easy to use ChatGPT with its very straightforward UI, while more advanced users might like to have control by adding a system prompt, selecting the model, or toggling between creative and accurate outputs, like in Microsoft Copilot. Lastly, focus on adaptive learning. Design your system to evolve based on user interactions. This could involve personalizing outputs based on a user's past choices or refining the model using aggregate user feedback. The key is to provide meaningful ways for users to guide the AI while also leveraging these interactions to enhance the system's capabilities over time. When we talk about empowering users in generative AI systems, it's crucial to consider both explicit and implicit forms of control. Explicit control is what we typically think of: sliders, buttons, and options that users actively manipulate. But there's also implicit control, where the system learns from user behavior over time, adapting without direct input. The real power comes when we combine these approaches to create truly collaborative intelligence. It's not about human versus AI, but human with AI. We're aiming for a symbiotic relationship where human creativity and AI capabilities enhance each other. Let's see how this plays out in real-world scenarios. Consider a GenAI-powered music generation tool for composers and producers. On the explicit control side, users could select genres, adjust tempo, or specify instruments. They might input a melodic seed or reference track for the AI to build upon. But the tool could also implement implicit control, gradually learning each user's unique style preferences. It might notice that a user often tweaks the drum patterns in a certain way and start to incorporate those preferences automatically. This collaborative approach allows the human to focus on high-level creative decisions, while the AI handles the details, creating a workflow that's more than the sum of its parts. Now, let's look at a more business-oriented example: a GenAI tool for IT system admins managing support tickets. Explicit controls might allow admins to customize ticket categorization or adjust the detail level in AI-generated responses. Implicit controls could involve the system learning from how admins handle different types of tickets over time. It might automatically start prioritizing certain issues based on past admin behavior, or adjust its language in responses to match the admin's style. This blend of explicit and implicit control creates a collaborative system that not only adapts to user preferences, but also enhances the admin's capabilities, allowing them to handle more tickets more effectively. As you implement these ideas in your GenAI products, keep a few things in mind. First, start with essential explicit controls, then gradually introduce more advanced options. This allows users to grow with the system. At the same time, be thoughtful about what implicit controls you're implementing. Make sure users understand how the system is learning from their behavior. It's crucial to maintain transparency. Help users understand how their choices and actions are shaping the AI's behavior over time. Remember, the goal is collaborative intelligence. Design your system so that it complements human skills rather than trying to replace them. Lastly, always be gathering feedback. The balance between explicit and implicit control will vary depending on your specific use case and user base. Be prepared to adjust based on how users are actually interacting with your system.
There's lots to consider about the principle of empower user control in generative AI product development. I hope this video has given you valuable directions. I believe it's a lot about creating a collaborative relationship between humans and AI, using both explicit and implicit forms of control. I encourage you to start experimenting with these ideas in your own GenAI projects. Think about where explicit controls make sense and where you can leverage implicit learning to enhance the user experience. Be transparent with your users and always listen to them to understand what controls you should implement in order to make things work. Check out more videos on this channel for other generative AI product development principles. Make sure you subscribe to be notified of more tips and techniques. As always, I'd love to hear about your experiences with user control in GenAI. How are you balancing explicit and implicit controls in your projects? Drop a comment below with your thoughts or questions. If you want to talk to me about these principles or on how to develop generative AI products, see the description with information on how to contact me. This is Amir, and it's time to give back the control to you. Until next time.